right, Ambitions fans. Now, this is a video that's going to answer a question that we've all been dying to know for the past week or so in regards to why was the show canceled? And before going any further, yes, I do have a source, and the name of my source is, this is a trusted source. So basically, when it comes down to it, there were things that I learned that honestly I didn't know should be factored into things like ratings, such as like the 3-night system, or live 3. Basically what that means is from the time an episode of a series airs, they take into account those 3 days. There are a lot of factors because we live in, this is 2020, guys. Can you name at least 5 television programs that you watch live? You stop everything you're doing, you turn to a channel and you watch it live. Most people, I would say the news ranks up there. Yeah, nowadays you can just, scroll on your phone or look it up online, what the weather is, what news stories happen in your area, things like that. But honestly, for me, the haves and the have-nots and a couple of the shows I review, but that's about it. Heck, even some of my favorite shows on the CW, I don't even watch them live because you can stream them. So one of the biggest questions I had in my earlier videos about Ambitions had to do with the ratings. And when it comes down to it, the ratings were pretty strong for the show itself due to the fact that, the haves and the have-nots was on the air during the first airing of Ambitions, the first 3 episodes. But truth be told, when the show took that hiatus mid-season and came back, the ratings weren't as good. And this happens all the time whenever I'm watching a show, and of course I'm on Twitter tweeting live, or let's say I don't watch the full episode live but I still go online to see if a show's trending. One of the biggest factors that comes to a show's rating is the competition. Like the first part of season 1 could do extremely well because their time slot, the night they come on, there isn't a lot of competition because other shows are either on hiatus, they haven't been created yet, or other circumstances come into effect. But during that back half of Ambition season 1, things weren't looking well because during the first part, there were over 1 million views per episode. Things were looking good. But during that back half, think about it. Disney Plus just debuted. You had the impeachment going on, as well as Empire coming back. And if I'm not mistaken, Empire's in its final season. And there's a lot of competition. Not to mention, on top of that, there was only one ad made or one promo bumper for the return of Ambitions, but it wasn't in heavy rotation at the own network. So basically, Ambition was facing an uphill battle because I know that from a viewer perspective, especially looking on the channel, I remember during the time Ambitions was coming back on the air, a lot of people were saying the same thing. Even when Greenleaf was on, and remember I started reviewing Greenleaf last year, people were saying, well, without the haves and the have-nots, and or if Loving You is wrong, I'm not going to watch anything on the OWN network because if I'm not mistaken, October is when Tyler Perry dropped The Oval and Sisters on BET. So the Tyler Perry fan base, who really weren't into Greenleaf or Ambitions, decided to give those shows a chance. And yeah, it's a mixed bag. Some people like the shows, some people don't. But Ambitions really wasn't getting the love it deserved because you all seen the videos I've done. You've all heard what I have to say. I love Ambitions, the character dynamic, the pacing, and everything else in between. But however, the competition was a bit too fierce. Now, unbeknownst to me, I didn't even know this. OWN, did want the show to continue on because in my other videos, I did say that, hey, I don't know the reason why the show isn't coming back compared to some of these other shows that have been renewed that honestly I don't really watch, hence why I don't review them. But it really comes down to money. It's a mixture of money and ratings, so to speak, because when you look at the fact that Tyler Perry can shoot all of his projects on his studio lot, you got to think about the cost the cost efficiency of that. When you look at a show like Ambitions, and I always praise the show on the wardrobe and the location and the camera work, it cost a lot of money to film on location. So it's just, at the end of the day, it's a mixture of those ratings and the money. Is like, is this show getting high enough ratings? Is this show really, I guess you could say, pulling in the people? Will this show be justified for a season 2? And unfortunately, the answer as of right now is unfortunately no. However, one thing we can do is the petition going around. I just checked the petition before recording this video. Okay, I checked the petition around 12:57 a.m. February 2nd, and it was at 3,967 signatures, with the goal being 5,000. I remember when the petition first came out, I think the goal was like maybe 500 or so, but the signatures are going around. And you're probably wondering, how many signatures do you need to make a difference? And it is a bit of a stretch now, but I think the fan base can do it. I mean, think about it this way. The first chunk of the season, episodes were getting close to, if not exceeding, 1 million views because of the 3-day rating system that, again, I wasn't aware of, but I know of now. 100,000 signatures is the the signature number for a petition to be responded to. I believe I actually heard that from a news report yesterday. Actually, I forgot what the petition was for, but it was something very important, of course. But I'm going to leave a link to the petition and pin it to the top comment. And I did see a lot of positive feedback when I put the petition in all of my Facebook groups, on my Twitter. I talked about it on Instagram, and I put in the community tab of the YouTube channel itself. So guys, it's just a matter of, how I always say, take a moment to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. It only takes a couple of seconds. And by you signing the petition and then sharing it on your own social media, we can hopefully make change happen. And also, something that I learned that I didn't even think about was the fact that because Love Is was canceled, that actually affected the air date of Ambitions. So I believe that Ambitions was supposed to be airing earlier in the year, sometime around March. And unfortunately, with Love Is being canceled, Ambitions got pushed to the summer. So basically, the show was fighting an uphill battle. And that's the sad part, because the show itself was great. It was great. I loved it, from the characters, the diversity of the cast. And when I say diversity, I don't necessarily mean ethnicity. I talk about the characteristics. It didn't really feel like two characters were cut from the same mold, because I know, as cheesy as it sounds, the show Ambitions was truly about every character's own ambitions. And that's what made the story go very, I guess you could say, go into multiple directions. But at the end of the day, it all led to the same storyline, if that makes sense. Almost like the haves and the have-nots, where all the storylines are kind of intertwined. Ambitions is kind of the same, but it's almost like, I mean, if there was ever a song, because one thing I loved about Ambitions was the soundtrack. Obviously, it cost money to get the what's it called? Crap, I cannot think. I used to be, what is it called? The licensing to use a song. I think that's the right word for it. Basically, like in the first episode, you had New Edition, If It Isn't Love, playing in Thelma's place, and as the season went on, more and more great music. It reminded me of the CW's Black Lightning, especially during the earlier seasons. Well, season 1 and then season 2. I haven't really watched season 3 that much, but I loved how they would be playing this old school music that my mom used to play on her vinyls. And heck, they would even throw in some of those current songs as well. And the music truly fit the mood of the scene that was being portrayed on screen. So if there was ever a song that I would love to see in Ambition season 2, or at any point in this show, or one song that was missing during season 1, the OJ's Backstabbers. Literally, if you just listen to that song, that's literally Ambitions in itself. People's ambitions, they're going to do whatever it takes to climb the ladder to get what they want. Stephanie, Evan, Hunter, and the list goes on. But going over the notes here, I just want to make sure that I got everything across. I mean, from the ratings to the money situation to different factors that I'm not well aware of. So that's one thing I always want to try to make a point of when I do these kind of videos. When I don't have a source, because I typically try to do research and have, multiple outlets who have similar answers to questions we all have as a fan base. That way I'm not spreading, and I hate to use this term based off how frequently it's used today, I don't want to spread fake news around. But here's what we can do. The fact that we're all in a situation where we want the show back, what can we do about it? It's easy to say, oh, well, this network should pick it up, or it should be rebooted on OWN, whatever you want to say. It could be renewed by OWN. It's just one of those things where there are a lot of behind the scene things that we aren't privy to, like, ownership rights and whatnot. For example, I would love for Ambitions to either be placed on Netflix rather than, I mean, honestly, I prefer Netflix to Hulu, but that's just me. Or at the very least, put the show on DVD. I would buy a copy in a heartbeat. But, I don't know if there's like a bidding war that needs to be taken care of first. But like I posted a video yesterday about TV One, they shared an article last week about Ambitions being canceled. And they're like, hey, comment below if you watch the show. And honestly, I checked it like a day after they posted it, and there were over 1,000 comments. And I want to check it again to see if there's been any increase on there, because I've been seeing a lot of positive comments talking about the show being canceled. And, hey, TV One, why don't you pick it up or something? So we shall see if the fan base can actually raise their voice in order to keep the show on. So if you could just excuse me for one moment, I'm on the TV One Facebook right now, scrolling through the post, trying to see if I can find the number of comments, because I'm just saying that if the same number of people commenting on that post would actually take a moment to comment or leave their name on the petition, we can actually make some change. Currently, there are over 1,600 comments, and they're all pretty. Oh, wow! They're all pretty good. So people are rooting for TV One or BET to pick up the show, but as of right now, all we can do is show our support. So go on Twitter, just say, like, bring back Ambitions, but at the same time, make sure you share the link to the petition. Once again, the link to the petition will be pinned to the top comment of this video. And also, just thank you to my source for giving me this information that I was not even aware of, because when it comes down to it, folks, whenever there's a television show or program that you love, make sure you watch it live, or you watch it on the streaming service affiliated with the network. So, like, get the Watch Own app if you don't have it already. If you have to, and I understand, like, I review these shows to make a living, but guess what? I'm not always able to watch the shows live. But whenever you can, make sure you're tweeting, hashtag, show your support. And I really do hope that things work out for the cast, producers, the writing team, everyone involved with Ambitions, because of the fact that there are so many questions that we need to have answered. And I actually have a list here, and I mentioned this in my other video. 6 videos I want to do on Ambitions, and then that's it. I mean, these 6 videos I've been holding on to because I was going to wait until, season 2 was confirmed and season 2 had a trailer, and then I would release these videos because, that when Ambitions was a hot topic again. Remember, this was before I found out it was canceled. These videos could do good in rotation, but given the fact that we're trying to build up fan support, I will do these videos over the next week. And just a quick reminder, the 6 videos are, just a season overview, my thoughts on the series as a whole, answering the question, is it better than the haves and the have-nots? Is Titus dead? A video where I just go over a variety of random questions that were set up and left unanswered for the sake of season 2. Who's the most ruthless person in the series, as well as who did Hunter shoot? So be on the lookout for half a dozen Ambitions videos coming up in the next week. Make sure you signed a petition. Make sure you signed a petition. Make sure you signed a petition and share it around, guys. The goal, long term, let's try to hit 100,000, not subscribers. We've already done that on the channel. Thank you so much for that. But let's try to get to 100,000 signatures. Let's make some noise. Let's raise the roof. Let's make sure Ambitions is the ambition of us all. Our ambition should be to get Ambitions back on the air. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will talk to you all in the next video.